Yeah. Someone got gun on that dirt. Yo, if I were podcasting, it would be insane. Knowledge flowing like the sweetest rain. Professor Bear on the mic, spreading wisdom wide. A bear's thoughts, that's my pride, I can't hide.
With the voices in your ear, changing the game.
If I rule podcasting, every thought we'd ignite. In a world of chatter, we'll just walk in the fight. With Professor Bear, we're climbing to new heights. A Bear's Thoughts podcast, shining bright in the night. Topics from the heart, never sounding the same. Got laughs and debates, never dull or bland. From culture to tech, take you by the hand. Join the ride with us, feel the vibe expand. With every episode, we shine that
beginnings on the cusp. Not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup. Something dirty in my cup. Clean soul.
So tune in, don't miss what we got to share. If I rule podcasting, I spread the love everywhere.
Welcome, 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 and thank you for joining me this evening. I am Professor Bear, and this is A Bear's Thoughts. And the thought I have today is this has been an amazing first month to the year 2026. It has been such a pleasure to get to talk to so many different podcasters and find out their journeys and how they became fans and everything. I've just been really very blessed and humbled to have so many different guests. And my initial thing was I was not going to do any weekends, but life happens. And some guests, we just couldn't hook up at the time or whatever. So I was like, man, I really want to get some people before I start tomorrow's journey. And I had to get them in before I started that journey. So me and this gentleman have been talking, been trying to coordinate, and we finally got it together. And I'm so happy and humbled that he is here. This is Triple Threat Wrestling Podcast with my man, Trevor. Trevor, how are you doing today, sir?
Sir, I'm fantastic. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been kind of a little bit of time trying to find time and, you know, got the family thing and all that, but we're here now and we're going to have a great conversation. So welcome, or not welcome, but I'm glad to be here. So,
give a quick shout out to your co-host that couldn't make it today.
Well, MVP, he's been the ride or die since the beginning. So shout out to you. I know you're going to be watching. I did share your link for the live here, so you should be at least seeing what he missed out on. No, I'm just kidding. But and then we do have a newer gentleman, Jarvis. So I'll be sure to share this to him as well. He's been doing his thing with some SmackDown recaps and helping out with some editing on the TikTok side. So, you know, I'm blessed to have those two guys around with me.
So I have to start with the question I always love to ask my guests. How did you become a wrestling fan?
Well, it's a long time ago. Let me try to think here. So I remember, you know, me and my uncle would go to like the video store. I don't know if you remember like a Family Video or Blockbuster, and just saw these wrestling videos. And I'm like, what is this? And he's like, well, I used to watch it growing up, you know, the Fabulous Freebirds and all this stuff. And Because, maybe you'll like it. Let's rent one. First one we rented was WrestleMania 6, Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior, and fell in love with it immediately. I loved the whole production of it, the different characters. Everyone will say what they will. Hogan said some bad stuff, but I was a Hulkamaniac growing up because at that time he was, just the nice say your prayers, eat your vitamins guy. So, but slowly transitioned into really liking more technical wrestling. I like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, and once that new generation era started, shout out to MVP there. Once that new generation started, I really like the characters because I was a kid too. Like now I'd probably find it corny, but Diesel and Doink the Clown and all these different things, right? But the journey just goes from there. Just seeing a copy of WrestleMania 6 on the shelf, and now I'm hosting wrestling podcasts and everything. So
it's amazing on how we get our start at watching wrestling. And I've heard so many different people tell their stories. My father was a wrestling fan, so that meant everybody in the house was gonna either like it or you were gonna go to it and shut up. Either way, you were going. And luckily for me, I just fell in love with it, and it's been in my blood ever since. So how do you translate? How do you go from being just a fan to becoming a podcaster?
Well, I was telling you a little bit about that story before we went live here, and just a brief summary. So, started doing sports card breaks during COVID. Everyone was like mad into the card business, and I'm like, I'm a business guy. I see things more than what it is at face value. I'm like, we could do sports card breaks, but what if I did like a sports card podcast? And then my buddy's like, that'd be awesome. So I get the whole production set. I, get everything ready, and I do 2 episodes, and I'm like, well, what do we talk about now? Sports cards, it's all you can do. And I said, let's turn it into a sports channel, like sports betting, sports this, all these different things. And it was doing well for a while, but then I said, I want to do a wrestling podcast. That's my true love. Let's do wrestling. I got my boy MVP in there, and it was too many things on one channel. So it's like, there's sports betting, there's this, there's wrestling. That it just I didn't want people to get confused.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm just going to break off into a wrestling channel and see where that goes. And it took off way faster than anything else ever did. And I'm like, I didn't think anyone would want to hear me and Matt just talk about wrestling for an hour, but here we are. Like now I know what we are, good production, good things. And I think I fell in love with the podcasting world. I mean, you get to meet different people. I'm here with you tonight. Without podcasting, I wouldn't have met half the cool people I know now. So I think it's been a blessing.
Yeah, I agree with you 1,000%. It's amazing on the love you have for something, and you meet someone who is either they're just about the fan that you are, or you like, oh my God, you're even worse than me. I never even thought that could be possible.
Yeah.
Well, when you do wrestling, do you have a particular thing? Do you stick with like WWE or AEW, or you do indies? What is y'all's thing? How do y'all do wrestling? Basically?
Well, before I answer that, you're not an AEW guy, are you? I don't want to offend on this show here if anyone loves AEW.
Hey, this is what I tell people. I am an AEW fan. If I had my choice, I watch AEW over WWE. But in the same token, I grew up on WWE. I'm just a wrestling fan. It's rare that I see some wrestling that I'm like, oh my God, no.
Yeah. So we do, I guess it depends on the topic. So we started, when we did this channel, every week was a top 5 list. We did our top 5 women's wrestlers, top 5 men's wrestlers, top 5 this, top 5. And over the time, it's like, I want to do more than that, though. Like, people want to know what's happening now. They don't want to know like we all have the same Mount Rushmore probably from 1995, you know, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Ric Flair, whatever, you know. But yeah, so we transitioned out of that and started doing shows for different things, but we do focus more on WWE. Just for the sole fact it's way more known. We grew up on it. We're familiar. AEW is so hit or miss with a lot of, for me, right? You know, a lot of the different stuff, but you know, if it's a good match, like I have no problem talking about it. I actually, when we did our top 5 title belt designs, I had AEW as like my first one. I'm like, it's a gorgeous title belt, you know? So I do give them love and we got to give them love for sure. But indies, not so much, more so because I just don't have time to watch it. And I think it's unfair to people tuning into my channel to give them news about something I don't have time to watch, you know, with work and the family. And so it's mainly WWE, but with AEW, they're the second best promotion right now. So I give them love when we got to give them love for sure. So I don't hate on them all the time, but.
Well, and that's the thing too. And I've told many of people that wrestling fans I think we even surpass football. We are the most we hate everything, but we love it just as much as we hate it. You can show a match. Don't matter who it is, what it is. Everybody's going to have like probably 17,000 different opinions on that match. And we're going to probably be yelling at each other. Oh, this sucks, la, la, la. But if someone tried to take it away from us, all of us would stop and try to kill that person.
Oh yeah. No, it's a very love-hate relationship. I mean, I can't even count just last year. I mean, you're an AEW guy, so you probably will agree with me on WWE, but the decision making is crazy. I'm like, what do we do? So Royal Rumble happened yesterday. Spoiler alert if you're going to watch the replay, but Brock Lesnar gets eliminated during the Jey Uso entrance. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, I will bash. I'm going to bash it on the next show, but yeah, you're right. If someone said like, oh, can you believe that happened? I'm like, hey, leave my WWE alone. All right.
We can talk about it. You can't. You're not fans. Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny that that got brought up because the usual disagreement is, well, WWE don't have enough matches. AEW has too many matches.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody has their opinion, and you got a right to it. I'm in the belief of, if I'm going to pay a certain amount of money, I'd rather have more than less.
Right.
And
yeah, for sure.
If you're gonna give me less, make them worthy. I hate being this guy. I really do. But the Royal Rumble was so stale. The AJ and Gunther match. Now, as I like to say, us smart marks, a lot of us knew what was going to happen. A lot of us thought it was going to go a different way. But when stuff happens that you can clearly see, you're not necessarily happy about it, because, as I tell anybody, we want to be fooled because we think we're smarter than the average fan. So when you fool us, we're excited. Like, oh, well, okay, you got me. You got me. And it makes sense. Or, oh man, I'm blown away by it. But when you can sit back and be like, okay, this is going to happen, this going to happen, this going to happen. And with the Royal Rumble, I always have this argument. You cannot have your top stars win the Royal Rumble anymore.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is they're going to get title shots anyway.
Correct. Yep.
Give it to like last year when Jay won. I'll be the first to tell you I was ticked off. Yeah. After a day of thinking about it, I was like, why am I mad? They gave me exactly what I wanted. Then I was like, yes. Versus Charlotte winning, it's like, oh man, Jesus. Yeah. She just came back. Why? Why?
Yeah, it's the social media side too. Is as much as we love social media because that's what we do. Really, we do podcasting, but it ruins everything because everyone's going to be spoiling stuff, taking pictures of people. So I think when they announced Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar are going to be in the Rumble, it should have been a surprise. Like, don't even. We already know they're probably going to be there. But I think they did that because it's Saudi Arabia. They're like, it's probably going to get leaked. Let's get ahead of the leak. I just hate how social media dictates what's going to be presented on TV. Like everyone likes Jey Uso in the arena. And I always preach this on our show. It's all about the follow-up. So giving Jey Uso the win is great. But then you follow it up with he's winded by the time he gets to the ring because he's coming from 5 floors up and he's dancing the whole time. And then he runs it back. And then he can't cut a promo because he has no breath left. He's gassed. So it's like, why would he just not come? Especially when you're champion, you got to put on good matches. You're going to go up against Gunther and you're going to be winded before you start. It's not good. And then the booking decision after that, let's have him lose to Gunther, but then win it back and then lose to Gunther again. It's like, what are we doing? Again, it goes back to where's your follow-up and all that. But like you said, the Rumble, when you shouldn't give it to a top star because it should be to catapult someone to that main event scene. And, with Jey Uso, like, great, fine job until after Mania. The day after Mania, it started going downhill.
And at least I just like they do Money in the Bank when they give it to a young guy or lady and they win and they're going to get the world title shot. Let them win and see what they can do. Give them a certain amount of time. If they flop, then okay, we know you need more work. But you cannot, and this is what I say all the time, you cannot keep going with the same people and not elevate your mid-card. Because if you do that, what happens if someone gets hurt? What happens if someone decides to leave? You got to have more backup and make it where you're not still. Look, I love The Undertaker. I truly do. I don't need to see Mark every other day at WrestleMania. I don't need to see Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. I don't need Stone Cold Steve. Look, give it to these young guys and girls, or may not even be young, but the ones that are there and working their tail off to try to earn a spot.
Yeah.
That just irks me to death. Another prime example, the women mid-card title. I was a big believer in give them a mid-card title. It gives them a chance to fight and help build and learn how to be a world champion. It makes the world title that much prestigious. But when you don't have anybody going for the mid-card title, what's the point of the mid-card title? The U.S. title has been one of the biggest jokes. And it hurts my heart because I love Chelsea Green.
Yep.
Selena Vega was working her little butt off. And you're not going to tell me Julia is not a great worker.
She is, yeah.
But they've done nothing with the title. Then you go over to Raw. As much as I don't like Dupree, I don't like her. I understand she's still young and learning the business. So I was okay letting her have a little title run. That helped elevate her. It makes that Intercontinental title feel a little more important. I'm okay with Becky having a little dominant run with it because, again, whoever defeats her is going to get a great rub. It helps elevate them, and it makes the Intercontinental title feel fresh. But when you don't have enough women to go around, because hey, we crapped on the tag team title so much, we're gonna take all these single stars, make them tag teams,
Yeah.
and drain the other part of our roster instead of just, hey, let's just do a mass uptick of NXT women.
Yeah. Well, and you hit the nail on the head there. Is I preached it on our podcast. I'm like, we need to, now this is a year and a half ago. I said, get rid of the tag team titles. Just get rid of them, because you don't have tag teams. You just have people thrown together, and get 2 mid-card titles. And you build the prestige. Now, how I would have done it, if I'm Triple H, if you're watching, that's how I would have done it. I would have dropped the Intercontinental Championship first, build that lineage for maybe a year, and then do the United States. Because now you put in 2 at one time, 1 for each brand, but you're split brand, so you don't have as many people as you think you do. And then when you now that we're fast forwarded, I'm like, the tag team titles are way better because they've been built properly, but it took 15 potential main event stars to do it. Bailey and Lyra and Rhea and Io and Asuka. Meanwhile, Jade Cargill has to fight Michin every week because there's no one for her to fight. And then with Julia, she's one of the best workers they have. Who's she going to fight? And then with Becky Lynch, my gripe is maybe she drops it to AJ Lee if AJ Lee shows up more at Mania, but that's everyone's prediction. Why drop it to Maxine Dupree in the first place?
To help give her a rub, and that's where I was okay with, because once she won it, I thought I was mad. Then I think, no, this is going to help give her a rub. This is going to help elevate her where people will take her seriously.
Right, but then she could feud with Natty Neidhart right now for it, but
right.
you took it off of her. It's like before you gave her the rub, and then before the rub could take place, you took it back off her, and it's like, then why drop it? At least like you spent all this time making this promotional vignette about she's in the dungeon, she's learning, she's this monster now with the ankle lock, and she just loses it. It's like, well, what are we doing? Again, it's the follow-up. Like, Maxine Dupree could have a good underdog run right now as champion and keep Becky Lynch away from it. Maybe Becky and AJ don't even need a title at Mania. They just fight because they don't like each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They really don't.
Yeah, no, they don't. And earlier you mentioned the Money in the Bank not needing a main event star. I agree with that too. I wanted to get this thought out earlier. So I think that the thing with Money in the Bank is anytime they cash in, they're going to win the title. It's like 100% success rate now. And it's like,
right.
Have people like an Austin Theory win it that could potentially, maybe he fails and that's okay. These should fail once in a while. It shouldn't be I got the briefcase, I'm just going to cash in and get the title at some point, like Damian Priest was the last good Money in the Bank title holder or a briefcase holder, I think, because he wasn't main event, but you're like, well, maybe he'll cash in and win it. And then he proved he could actually be a good working champion. So now you got, Seth Rollins winning it. And it's like, really? Like, why does Seth Rollins need this? But yeah, it's all about building up the future. And that is where my love for WWE fails, because they are bad at that. I do see promise with Obafemi and Javon Evans and all these people getting called up, Jordan Grace, but I still am very apprehensive with Triple H at the wheel. So,
and going down that road with Triple H, I understand why a lot of people do not like his booking. I understand why people think a lot of it is his fault. As my defense to that is, he is not Vince. He is the head of booking, but he has bosses above him. And if they want something, he's going to give it to them because he has to. It's not like he's Vince where his word is law and you just had to roll with it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I see where people are upset with him, but I still say, I understand a lot of booking decisions he makes. I really do. He's more of a traditionalist than a lot of people really want to believe he is. He's trying to do better storyline booking. But then, and this is something I tell people with AEW, how can you do long-term booking when something happens? Like one of your main characters get hurt. You can't keep the storyline going. You have to be able to go off and build a different storyline. Rollins getting hurt for real messed that storyline up.
Yeah.
So now, okay, we got the plan of making Braun the head of the division. They were going to save later on, but they had to move it up. And a lot of people are like, that makes no sense. Well, you got to pivot.
Yep.
And that's another thing. Now we had to pivot. We don't have anyone else we can throw into a role legitimately that will sell because we didn't build these guys up.
That's the problem, is everyone is developing, and it's like you got to prepare for things. Like we all have a little savings account. If the car breaks down, you can rely on it. WWE don't have that. They have these 50-year-old stars, and it's like, oops, one of them hurt their back. What do we do now? And I did give him praise, though. I mean, even with, like I said, with AEW, with Triple H, we give him praise when he deserves it. Pulling the pin on that was the smartest thing, because you know how he loves long-term storytelling. And it's like, well, now we can just have Seth be out for months and Braun will just hold the fort down until he comes back. I'm glad they just said, okay, just move on and we'll figure it out later. Like that was the smartest thing they could have done in that situation. But we'll see. I mean, like I said, it's always about follow-up, and Triple H it's either one of two things. It's long-term storytelling. Like, oh, remember that I gave you this Easter egg 2 years ago?
Right.
You kept that in your mind, right? Because now it's like, or he just goes for shock moments for the YouTube shorts for us to, react to. But it's like with Maxine Dupree, it's like, okay, she won the IC title, and we're like, oh my God, that's crazy. Then what? What is your plan? Like, do you ever feuding with Natty or Becky or whoever? No, you have no plan. You just wanted to shock people. And I mean, the last time you did give us a shock moment, the Seth Rollins throwing the crutches down at SummerSlam, that was very good. I gave him a lot of props for that. I love that because I did not expect it. But yeah, we give him praise when we need to.
Now, if my biggest gripe with WWE is TKO. They make Dixie Carter look like a genius.
Oh yeah. They're money hungry.
Yeah. They tell us all the time, we do not care about you, the wrestling fans. You're gonna go mortgage your house for some tickets to our show if you want to see it.
And it's a mediocre show. I mean, so MVP and me, I've known him, fifth grade. Long time, right? We go way back. Talk about wrestling. I got him into wrestling. Now he knows more than I do. But we went to our first live event not this year, last year together. Never went together before. We went to SmackDown. We saw John Cena's final appearance, and Sami Zayn and John Cena put on a fantastic match. But that card only had 3 matches, and the main event technically was Julia versus Michin. And the crowd is just so quiet. And I'm like, if the tickets were still like $35, I'm not complaining, because it's $35. We saw a great thing, but he had to drop a pretty penny on these tickets. And it's like, I mean, now granted, we got Brock Lesnar back to attack Cena. We got AJ Lee back. So you had great moments, but if you're going to see in-ring action, this was not the event for that. It just was a great opening match, and then it was done after that,
I've said this once, and I will continue to say it. I would not be surprised if TKO sells WWE this year.
It's possible.
I would not be surprised if the Saudis get them.
I would also not be surprised.
And I would not be surprised if Vince pops his head back in there.
Yeah, he's gonna take his Saudi mask off. It was me all along. His big plan was to become a Saudi citizen and buy WWE.
His plan has came true. He's made Triple H look foolish.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing with TKO is like there's so many hands in the pot that it's like, even if Triple H said, I have this great idea for this, and they're gonna say, well, are the fans gonna pay for the stuff like that, like the merch and the tickets? And how many times did they come out and rub it in our face? We have to, like you said, put a second mortgage to buy a WrestleMania ticket. Folks, this is the largest gate we've ever had in this arena. It's like, well, you're welcome.
Well, because none of us have vehicles to leave, we all walk.
We took the bus. The schedule don't come back till 10, so we're stuck here.
What, for you, what has been the biggest disappointment in wrestling? And it can be anything. What is that thing when you think just this almost took me out where I'm not watching this anymore?
Actually, so there was a time when I did stop for a while, and it was when WCW was sold. And then it was I was a WCW guy. So yeah,
me too.
And I'm like, well, all my favorite stars are gone. They weren't around. So right about the time that they started merging into WWF, at the time, it wasn't WWE, but I got my first job, started meeting different friends, and I'm like, this product isn't enough for me to stick around. Like I started getting interested in other stuff, and I came back to WrestleMania 25 because Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, and I'm like, well, I gotta watch this. And then I gotta call Matt up, my buddy MVP. I'm like, dude, you gotta catch me up. Like, what's going on? And I don't know these wrestlers. And Santino Marella comes out. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Like, I don't know who this is. I'm like, these aren't my people that I left here. Where's everybody? So I did fall out of time. I guess recently, like I would say the whole TKO thing of being the money hungry, taking the actual wrestling entertainment out of it and more focusing on, well, we're going to go to Netflix for this, or we're going to go to ESPN for that. You got to get 9 platforms to watch wrestling. Now, the unfortunate thing is I can't stop because we do this. So I'm in it now. Like I'm in too deep, and it is what it is. But I think that if the wrestling, when these top stars retire, if they haven't built up the future by then, I don't know what to talk about. There's really no, who's your main event at Mania next year? Not even this year. At the Saudi main event, you're going to bring back The Rock and Stone Cold and CM. You're just going to rely on Old Faithful because that's got you through. So I don't know. There may come a time, but I'm stuck in it now. We're here.
So for me, I can't remember a time that I just stopped. It's been like I missed a few weeks, but I still was there. I think if it wasn't for the indies and AEW, I would probably be like at close to the end. And not saying that AEW is just better than WWE. It's an alternative.
Yeah.
And for me, AEW is the closest thing to WCW with sense.
I agree. Yeah, I do agree with that.
And so it's like, okay. And the indies, I will say this, and I'm very loyal to this opinion of mine. You get so much more out of an indie wrestling nowadays. I'm so upset with myself that I didn't get back into indies sooner, because it's a totally different atmosphere. You get to feel like everybody in the place is family. You actually can meet the wrestlers because a lot of them will come out, try to sell their merch, talk to you. It's just a whole different feel. And I don't have to worry about mortgaging my kidney to get in the door.
Yeah. You're going in a wheelchair. You're like, I'm here.
Yeah,
You know, we're here. I had to give up 3 body parts, but we're here.
we're here, and you better have a good storyline because I only got money for this one and maybe the next one.
Yeah. Well, I do think that the AEW fans and WWE fans, we're jealous of each other in this aspect. You guys have a ton of matches on your cards where I'm like, I wish WWE put more than 3 matches on a Saturday night main event or a PLE. Like WrestleMania is this big extravaganza. It's like 5 matches each night. It's like, really? Can only put on 5 matches? But you guys probably see like so many matches. Like, man, we could get rid of a few like WWE does. That'd be great and focus on a, I think if you combine both, you'd be like the perfect wrestling promotion. But
And I know I'm different than a lot of fans because they're like, yeah, man, this one didn't make no sense. We could get rid of this one. I'm like, but it's the action. Yes, all of them. If you're not like really involved with watching AEW, I can understand you not knowing storylines. But the one thing I think AEW does a great job at, maybe you don't know that storyline, but when you jump into it, you get a great match and they tell a story in the ring.
yeah. Yep.
And again, I think that's just my old school mentality of looking at things like that. Now, again, I am big on saying a lot of things that are wrong with WWE, but they have some great talent. When they get their chances, they can put on one hell of a performance. I thought Walter and AJ was good.
It was.
I think that the only thing I would say was too predictable. And I knew a lot of people were holding out hope that AJ wasn't going to just go out in January. I'm like, why wouldn't he? This is perfect. He started at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
He leaves at the Royal Rumble. I'm like, that it makes sense.
Although, not to chime in real quick, you're going to be
Yeah.
excited because you're an AEW fan. I think AJ might go there. I think that his WWE career is over. He put the gloves back on. He said he wants to have a lot more matches. I think him and Kenny Omega would be good, or coming in against an MJF would be a good feud. I think that he's going to want to have some matches in AEW. So you'll be seeing him over there.
Well, and see, that's the thing. Like you said, I've heard that rumor. Then it's AJ is going to finish in TNA, and I'm like,
Then he could have stayed in WWE.
no. And the reason I say no, because if he goes to TNA and WWE is working with TNA, how foolish does it make WWE look? He lost a lose your career match, but he's at your lower card.
Yeah.
So I'm like, as much as I get it and I will be okay with it, it wouldn't make any sense. He would, like you said, and he's friends with the Bucks. He's close with them. So again, I can see it. Or even if he don't go there, he'll go to New Japan and do one more.
Yeah.
So I get it. And then some of the stuff is like, they just got Walter. Yes, I called him Walter.
Yeah.
They just got Walter back, where people are disliking him again and everything. There is no way in the world you destroy him to give AJ that win. It destroys. People would never care about Gunther no again. I told somebody the funniest thing. Monday Night Raw, when Natty turned on Mr. Dupree, I jumped on my site. I was like, breaking news. Natty has passed the Big Show from heel to face.
Yeah. That's true.
I was like, it's just like, Natty, what do you feel like today?
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, there's a underlying theory that she's got a lifetime contract because of what happened to Owen Hart. If that's true, then it's really like, well, Natty, it's what do you want to do? We're gonna pay you no matter what. Why don't you just sit in catering for 5 months till we do something with Maxine Dupree, huh?
No, there's no way she has a lifetime. Look what they did to her Uncle Brett. Ain't no way.
True.
And on top of that, it was proven wrong last year when her contract came up. Because she doesn't have a lifetime. They're letting her do some stuff. They knew if she left and she was hot, they didn't want to lose her to AEW.
Oh, for sure, not her.
So they're like, nah, look, we'll give you that. You want to change your gimmick a little bit? Okay, we'll let you. You want to go wrestle for NWA and some of these?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. You mentioned earlier you're an old school fan like me. The one thing, I don't know if you agree. I'll throw this your way. So my co-host is iffy on it. MVP, I'm calling you out here. You're not too big on the idea, but I think that most of your storyline ideas can be fixed by doing one thing. WCW did this amazing, by the way, is you have your contendership, like 1 through 10. So like, oh, if this guy wins, he's the number 10 contender to the world title. He could be number 7 if he beats this guy. And if you have it where like you could throw matches together where they don't have to be feuds, but they're for getting up the ranks because you want to have a title match. They did this all the time. You'd see like Norman Smiley versus Disco Inferno, and you're like, why do I want to see this? But well, Disco Inferno is actually number 10 on the cruiserweight ranking. So if he beats Norman, he goes to there's a reason behind every match. And right now, like, I think it's just you always want to stay in a feud. And it's like, well, the feud's going to keep happening until you can think of a different one. It's like, why not just do this ranking system? People can just fight for no reason, but it's to elevate themselves through the rankings to get a title shot. I think that would fix so many things, but I don't know. What do you think about that?
I like that idea, but AEW screwed up when you have a ranking system and you want to get someone that's not ranked a shot at the title. They just hot shotted people, and people noticed it. That's why they had to go away from the ranking system, because if you don't follow the rules to your own stuff, why do it make sense? Why are you going to keep doing it? And the perfect example of that is AEW in their rankings, WWE and their split brand. Oh, we got 2 brands, but wait a minute, why are you on SmackDown? You're a Raw guy.
Yeah.
And it's they used to try to come up with reasons to make a little sense. Now they just don't even say anything.
Well, yeah, they don't. That's the biggest problem. And I'm giving solutions to WWE for free, by the way. I'm shouting them out, but I'm like, do your draft. And then you need to, it's about how you word it. Like, this is the brand you're weekly going to be on, but you're not locked to it. So that when you do see someone show up on a different show, it can be like a surprise, like, oh man, what's Jey Uso doing on SmackDown? Or, oh, CM Punk showed up on SmackDown. What's going on? But it's not like they're breaking a brand rule. When you say like, this is your brand, they never stick to it. Exactly. And it's stupid. So I think, yeah, like, do your draft. This is your weekly show, but you could, if you got beef with someone, you can go over there and handle business, and, but you can't stay, or you can't just go there and stay there. Like, you can go there if you need to handle something, but you're a Raw guy or a SmackDown guy. But I don't know. What do we know? We're just podcasters.
Yeah, so. Right. So, who has been, in your eyes, the biggest interview that you've been able to have
on my show?
Yes.
So I had Roosevelt Conyers on my show. He's a big indie wrestler. He's very good. He's had matches with Billy Gunn and, a lot of different people. He's been featured on AEW and Monday Night Raw. That was the biggest get for me. And, just because again, we don't really do interviews on our channel,
right?
Mainly because we catch everyone up is like I guess our channel is more like the casual fan, just like you're coming into watching me to just, we're all going to have our thoughts on the matter. We're just like me and you are talking now. I kind of look at the screen as like the audience is just my fellow fans we're just talking to. But interviews, I've done a few, but he's the biggest one we've got. And it was really nice talking to him. I mean, he had so many championships on his person at the time of the interview. He's like, oh, I won this one here and this one here. And we asked him, we're like, it's got to be a pain to travel through security with all that. And he's like, even if I don't need to bring them, I do, because it's special to me. Like I lay them all out in my bag, and then like TSA has to check them. He's like, oh, I got to restack everything in there and do these titles again. But he's very talented. When we get off here, I'll send you a link to some of his stuff. He's phenomenal in the ring and open for interviews too. So if you want to have him on, he's a great person to have a conversation with. So
that's cool. I appreciate that. This is another question I've asked pretty much everybody. If you were able to have an interview with anybody, dead or alive, from any generation, who would it be and why?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one to, honestly, I would like to talk to like an interview with Shawn Michaels. He's one of my favorite all-time wrestlers, and just hearing him talk about the stories and all that, I would like to like ask him different questions and get different answers. And especially, so I'm a Christian. So I think his story of becoming born again and turning away from all the drugs and all that stuff, I would like to talk to him about that and be like, talk to me about your journey, because coming from a very dark place to going where he is now is, I love hearing people's redemption stories of how great they've done in life. And, I think that's one interview I'd love to have is Shawn Michaels on. But,
I think for me to, having a lot of different wrestlers go through their dark journeys and just come out of it on the other side, I think Lex Luger is really, really good, just because everything Luger has went through. And the thing that I really admire him about, he never once tries to blame anyone else. He takes full responsibility for his own journey. And to me, that is one giant step to get reborn. And I really love it. And him and Sting's friendship throughout everything they've been through is just such an amazing story to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. And especially Sting too. He actually didn't even go to WWE because of his belief. He's like, I just think it's too raw and uncut over there. It's not for me, and I'm like, I respect you turned on a lot of money. You would have been one of their pillars in that early transition, but shout out to him for that. So
yeah. If you had Triple H in front of you right now, and
are we allowed to cuss? No, just kidding.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
If you had him in front of you right now, and you were able to give him not one but two suggestions on how to make the product better, what would that be?
So I would say this, like, you need to focus on not long-term storytelling. You need to focus on building up your future. They're doing a great job with Obafemi so far. I mean, he just debuted at the Rumble, but that's a big time. He didn't even drop the NXT title.
Yeah.
He straight up you just leave it there. And then we don't even want you to lose the title. Like, you just go to the main roster now. Things like Javon Evans is in there. He's fantastic. I have a feeling that they're going to just keep him a mid-carder. I don't see high hopes for him under Triple H. Right. But if I'm talking to Triple H, I'm telling him, like, you need to build up the future. And these retiring soon guys need to start putting over the future. So like Brock Lesnar and Obafemi is going to probably wrestle at WrestleMania. For the love of God, don't feed someone to Brock Lesnar. He doesn't need it. Give that win to Obafemi. Give some wins to these younger guys. Braun Breaker should be involved in the title picture. Get a title on him, because CM Punk, I love CM Punk, but he's 48. Like they're older. It's build up the future.
I I told somebody when they announced the match, I said this would be a perfect time to get Brock, give him the title, even if it's just for a few weeks. Let him get it. I said this would do wonders for him. Look what Edge done when he had his shot, and he only had it for a few weeks. But after that, people really started looking at him and making him to be the next guy. And look what it took him down his journey.
Yep, for sure.
Well, I want to thank you so very much for not only coming on the show, but for doing what you're doing for wrestling in general. I believe a lot of people don't get their just due or their flowers, as I like to say, until after they're gone, when they can't smell them and enjoy them. And I want to be the person to tell you thank you for everything you're doing. Continue success and continue giving all the fans that support you and the new ones that will that journey, because as I had to learn, wrestling without us podcasters is I'm not saying wrestling wouldn't be around for us, but we help keep the love alive and help keep fans that would probably tune out because of us. We help keep people in wrestling. So I just want to thank you for that. I want to thank you and your crew for everything y'all doing, and continue success.
Well, I truly appreciate that. Thanks to you as well, because you got a really good thing going here with WSN and all that, and bringing on different people like myself. And I think that the biggest takeaway from me is podcasters, I think some of them like to be in competition. They're like, well, I want to succeed. I'm a firm believer in every job I've been at as a manager that it's a team effort. Like you're together, and we build this community, right? And like having you on, I'm on here. I want to have you on our show. I have Wrestling from the 313 on our show, and different people that it's like you build this community of people that, like I said, I would not have met half the cool people I know now without podcasting. That I can actually text and say, hey, see what happened on Royal Rumble? And it's that outlet. All of our family members, my wife don't care what happens on wrestling. I can't go upstairs and be like, babe, do you see what Seth Rollins did? She's like, I don't care. So I think that having that community is awesome. So thank you for having me on here. It's awesome. Like good conversation. So
Oh, it is no problem. Yes, I definitely will be happy to come on your show. We can work that out. Like I said, and the point that you hit on, the competition thing, we can be in competition, but just because we having a competition don't mean we can't be friends. Doesn't mean we can't collaborate. There's so many different wrestling fans. There's thousands of different podcasters. Why would I hate on yours? And even if I did not like you, you did nothing to me, so why would I attack you?
Yeah, I hear you. The online space is as soon as you start doing this, you open yourself up to, well, I'm either gonna get hate, I'm gonna get love. But I look at it like this. I'm like, I'm gonna hit that record button, and you can like it, or as they say in the South, you can like it or you can lump it.
Man,
you can do one or the other.
One of my favorite quotes, they got this button and it's usually red. It's called the off button. Use it. I
Yep.
don't care if you don't watch me or not.
Yep.
I'm still going to continue doing what I do.
Yep. Yep. I'd rather have the one person that loves it see it, and I don't care about the 10 people that don't. You can swipe. It's very easy to take your phone and swipe it off, but you know.
Exactly. But again, thank you so very much. I'm so glad we were able to get this done, and we definitely again will definitely be doing some more collaborations.
100%. I'm with you. I look forward to it. So, and to everyone watching, continue to support this guy and his channel. And, you know, if you want to come see our stuff too, we're on YouTube, Triple Threat Wrestling. And, you know, you're going to be seeing Professor Bear on that show soon. So,
and like I always forget to do, the QR code, I know a lot of y'all have watched, so y'all already knew what the QR code for. That's so y'all can go and check out Triple Threat. They have an amazing podcast, and I would definitely tell y'all to go check them out. I have no doubts that you'll enjoy it as much as I do.
All right. Well, I appreciate that.
No problem. With that being said, before I get out of here, as always, please go support your local indie wrestling. I'm not saying it's better. I'm not saying it's worse. What I'm saying, it's a different atmosphere. And if you have family, I promise you, you're going to leave your family members with memories they're going to have for a lifetime. I'm telling you, I truly believe in it.
And they put on more work, and the seats are a lot cheaper than WWE.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to get better wrestling for cheaper.
And come out and still have money, and that's always nice.
Yep. You can even get yourself a hot dog.
I'm telling you. So with that being said, guys, girls, thank you so much for joining me around the campfire for another amazing interview about learning about us podcasters. Starting tomorrow, we are jumping in to our wrestling promotions appreciation month. So please check it out. I got the schedule up. I'm not even going to try to waste time to tell y'all. Please just check it out on Facebook at WSN. And with that being said, I am Professor Bear. This is A Bear's Thought. We'll see you around the campfire again really soon. Y'all have a great evening.